As soon as your feet are in the right place, we can start. Lyric or satiric? We are playing a game called Lyric or Satiric, invented by Dan Bull and Dave from Boy in a Band. The aim of Lyric or Satiric is that we each take 5 real lines by an artist and 5 made-up lines, and we see if the other person can guess if they are made up or real lyrics.
This time, we'll be looking into popular boy emo band My Chemical Romance.
Boy emo band.
Boy emo! So the reason we picked My Chemical Romance for this is because obviously we're both aware of MCR.
They exist.
They exist, yeah, we know that. We know that when we were 14 we were annoyed because every girl we liked fancied Gerard Way for some reason.
I don't remember that.
Oh, obviously my past was more emotionally damaging than yours. They're gonna rip up your heads, your aspirations to shreds, another cog in the murder machine.
As cheap as this is, I feel like I recognise that one. Which is, it's kind of annoying, to be honest. I'd like to get them more skillfully. But I feel like I've heard the... Not heard, but I feel like I saw the line murder machine in my research, so I'm going to say it's a lyric.
It is a lyric. It's one of the songs. Teenagers.
Now that's interesting, because I didn't look at the lyrics of that song, because I thought that's a popular one, so I'm not going to look at it.
Oh well, I was under the basis that you wouldn't want to look at the popular ones, so I picked one from the popular song.
So how did things turn out the way they have? When some things are better left unsaid, you find your words a better home instead.
Deep stuff. It sounds like a cheap line. It's a rhyming couplet, which MCR are quite, they like those. But you know they like those. I'll say that's lyric.
That is satiric, actually.
Oh, well done, sir.
I just wanted to make a generic emotional sounding line, to be honest. Apparently worked.
And of course, being a musician, you're used to that sort of thing.
I didn't really think about it, to be honest. I just picked words that rhymed and sounded emotional.
Let's everybody shut up and be happy and carry on with the game. Rub me down with a crimson towel when you leave. Your dirty heart leaves stains I can't reprieve.
I don't think I've ever heard you use the word reprieve.
It's not a common word.
And I think the imagery, a lot of the imagery in their songs is creative, to be honest. It makes me go, I don't know what that means. And I very much get that vibe from that lyric. So on those instincts, I'm going to go ahead and say lyric.
No, it was satiric. I made that one. I thought that you wouldn't think I would think of saying a crimson towel. I thought you'd think I'd just say a towel. But I specified the colour of the towel. Would you like to do one?
Do one! Singing songs that make you slit your wrists. It isn't that much fun staring down a loaded gun.
Well, obviously. I actually think that is a satiric because it sounds like something that you would sing when you were taking the MIG.
That's exactly why I picked it, because it is lyric.
Oh, lovely.
Picked one that sounds so generically suicidal that it sounded like I was taking the piss, but no, they're taking the piss of themselves, perhaps.
Writing letters to you, line by line. Insufflation and dreams of you sends ethereal damage through my spine.
Insufflation. That's one word.
That is one word, insufflation. Okay.
I've never heard you use the word insufflation. I feel like you wouldn't pick a line that had words that were obviously not your kind of words, because then it'd be so obviously them. So I feel like you maybe kind of crafted that one. I'm going to go with satiric.
You're right, I did craft that one.
Yeah.
Just by the by, insufflation. I did have to look this up. I wanted to reference drug use, and insufflation, as I recall, is taking drugs through the nose.
Oh.
So what I was getting at was I'm writing letters to line by line.
Line by line.
Yeah, and then line by line as in line of drugs.
That's a good pun if you know what insufflation means.
Ooh, I'm going to get my dictionary out for this one.
Oh, I'm going to get my dictionary out. But does anything matter if you're already dead? And should I be shocked now by the last thing you said?
Ooh. I think that's lyric, and I think this because I know they had a song called Dead. I think it's from that. I think that it's just referencing that, and I think there'd be emphasis on the word dead.
I don't know what song it's from, but it is a lyric, yes.
Okay.
Again, I was picking one that just seemed really depressing, because I felt like we'd both have a certain assumption that their songs would be really depressing. In all fairness though, having read through their lyrics, a lot of them aren't to do with suicide.
Your love is covered in blood and piss. Clean me off. I'm so dirty, babe.
I think it's one of those ones that's quite audacious in that you wanted to make it sound like it was them by making it not sound like you. I'm not saying you don't call people babe, but I feel like that might not be where you would go songwriting wise. So I'm gonna say, for that reason, it is you trying to throw me off the trail.
So you're saying satiric?
Satiric, yes.
It's not, it's an actual lyric.
A cocktail of blood, tears and perfume.
Oh God.
Locked up, left to mull in your room. Sounds a lot like the line you just read.
Yeah, I think if that one is by MCR, then they, I think they were trying to dull down the previous one in a more creative way rather than being so blunt about it. But at the same time, a cocktail of these things, I think that's you.
Why cocktail me?
Because you're a raging alcoholic.
I would have thought that sarcasm there is exactly why I wouldn't write cocktail. But you've cast your guess and that was by me.
Yeah.
I thought you would think that I don't know what cocktails are.
Lay still like the dead, from the razor to the rosary. We could lose ourselves and paint these walls in pitchfork red.
Now I've heard pitchfork red before, I think, but in a Goldstein song. And Tom wrote, and I didn't know pitchfork red was a thing, but now I've heard it twice. I think it must be a thing. How is pitchfork a shade of red? It sounds very creative and morbid, which fits the bill, but I feel like it might be you trying to be creative and morbid. So I'm going to say satiric.
No, it's a genuine lyric, and I don't have a clue what pitchfork red means. Could someone please enlighten us by commenting?
Is pitchfork a shade of red? Does the television make you feel the pills you ate, or every person that you need to be?
I think that is a bit too satirical, believe it or not. I think that's talking more about the TV not making people feel good, and for that reason I think it's you.
Well, that's why I picked it, because it sounds like an issue I would tackle, but that is actually a real lyric.
Oh. Your heart speaks a language I don't understand. Your cold breath, so hesitant, speaks quietly to the blood-red roses in my hand.
It's, it's flowery, literally, but it sounds a bit too hackneyed. So I'm going to maybe guess that this is one you've written that just didn't go quite as interestingly, perhaps. I'm going to say satirical.
Yes, you're right. I did write that.
There's more than one way. There's two ways to get there, and we ain't going to close our eyes in the mist.
So there's more than one way. There are two ways. I'm glad that the author of this particular line knows maths. Because it sounds so obvious, because it's one of those lines, oh, there's more than one way, there are two ways. It's just emphasising the fact that there is more than one way. There is more than one way. And for that reason, I think it actually is MCR.
That is satiric.
Oh, well done.
I did it because that's not something I would really think to do in my writing, where you repeat things just for the sake of prolonging a line, not something I would do. That gambit paid off.
When I'm feeling troubled and low, my only vestige is to dance with you. Whoa, real slow.
That's not what vestige means, really. See, my only vestige doesn't really make sense to me. That's not what the word vestige means. And I don't think you would be able to bring yourself to use a word wrong just for the sake of making a line sound weird. So I feel like that might be a real one that you've picked out that sounds strange. I'm gonna go lyric.
No, that was me. I'd noticed a couple of times where the phrasing wasn't quite right and it didn't quite sit right for me, and I thought
so you purposefully went out your comfort zone.
So yeah, vestige. I didn't really want to put that there, but
that's commitment. And we will wear our masks again out after dark, because we are up for everything it takes, and we are not the same.
Well, it doesn't rhyme. But wear our masks again. It's obviously connotations of putting on a disguise. Yeah, I was about to do that as well. I think that one is MCR. I think it's about putting on a different face.
It is.
Yes.
That one is a real lyric by My Chemical Romance.
If you'd fall in love, you'd understand why I can't live in such a world. I don't care how much you cry. My eternal wish is to die.
Ugh. Okay, now that seems really over the top. But I don't think you would write one that's really over the top because it's kind of too obvious. So I feel like maybe you picked this one and it's an actual lyric.
No, I fooled you, it was me.
Damn it! Oh
yeah.
No. Doesn't matter if it's the last day on earth, honey. We'll keep on dancing while the world burns away.
Oh, interesting. That sounds very upbeat, and they did have some upbeat stuff. Relatively. Sounds almost Panic at the Disco a bit there. But I do know that they like to use Dancing the Night Away as a form of therapy when people are feeling low. I think that is a lyric.
That one is satirical.
Oh, well done. Well done you. For sounding a bit like MCR.
Noticed that they talk about partying the night away.
Wouldn't it be grand? It ain't exactly what you planned. And wouldn't it be great if we were dead? Oh, dead.
Now, that sounds a lot like them in terms of the way the language is used. But there's so many elements that don't sound like you that I feel you wouldn't pick it. No, you wouldn't have picked one that was so obviously not something you would write. You really tried to write that, so it's satiric.
No, that's a lyric.
God!
Yeah, I've not heard the song, but I'd like to hear them going, oh, Dad.
The wolves are at your door, but you can't run away. We told you what would happen if you chose to stray.
Ooh, I like wolves and stray. Let's bask in this again.
I didn't notice that, actually.
Did you not? When you were researching it and it was... Oh, you could be trying to... Oh, I didn't notice that when I was writing it because I am such a genius.
It could be either.
No, I think you wrote that.
I did, yes.
Yes, okay.
I did write that. But I didn't notice the stray thing. That wasn't me trying to trick you. I genuinely didn't realise stray.
Well, maybe you're cleverer than you give yourself credit
for.
for.
Well, yeah. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Maybe you are a
My
genius.
genius is just, I don't even see it.
Another sad song with nothing to say about a lifelong wait for a hospital stay.
I'm gonna be a cheap douchebag and say that I saw that in my research and I almost considered using it, and that's a real lyric.
Okay, yeah, I used that one because it sounds pretty much like my view of what I thought MCR were about.
It's very depressing. I almost used it for the exact same tactic as you, to be honest.
Fair enough.
A drink for the horror that I'm in, for the good guys and the bad guys, for the monsters that I've been.
I feel that if you were writing that line, you would write for the monster from within, because it would rhyme and it would sound like an MCR line. For that reason, I think, sir, that is a lyric, because I think you picked that one because it doesn't rhyme.
I think it does rhyme. bin and in, really. Like, if we're not doing received pronunciation, like pretentious.
Well, obviously we've not heard the song, but I don't think he's from South London.
No, but I think he would pronounce it bin, and I think it would rhyme. But it is a lyric, and you are right, and that means you win.
Do I win again?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It annoys me that you, well, it doesn't annoy me, I don't care. The fact that you thought the rhyming thing, in previous ones, I've picked them ones that didn't rhyme and wrote ones that didn't rhyme, because in my research I found they don't rhyme a lot. So many of the lyrics I found didn't rhyme, and then I'll pick one that doesn't rhyme and you'll go, well, MCR tend to rhyme. I found that they didn't really rhyme that much, so I wrote ones that didn't rhyme, but then that kind of backfired on me.
No, I suppose so.
Man. Well, Ollie is better at being Gerard Way. Does that make you feel good?
No, I'm falling into a pit of disparity.
I think in our research we should have learned that My Chemical Romance are more versatile than we realised.
Yeah, I think
and we should stop generalising them.
Yeah, I think we should give them more credit than we have been giving them. And
a lot of their songs aren't to do with depression or suicide.
Some of them are quite deep.
Yeah, well, some of them are upbeat.
I'd quite like to listen to Whoa Dead.
I wouldn't.